Hello everyone, my name is Smurfy, and today I'm bringing you a 6.0 Discipline Priest Healing Guide. In this guide, I'm going to talk about talents and glyphs, then we're going to go into stat priority, explain gems and enchants, go over a couple useful macros, then I'll talk about the healing quote-unquote rotation. So let's get into it. Right away, I'm going to say a few of these can be changed. This is what I prefer to run. I'm sure a few of you will have different opinions. That's fine. Talents and glyphs aren't cookie cutter. 100% you have to run this anymore. So that's very nice that it's like that, but I'm just going to tell you what I run, and hopefully that'll help you out. So first tier here, there's a couple options that you can take. Desperate Prayer will heal you for 22% of your maximum health. And Angelic Bulwark will be a passive that'll bring you back, or it'll give you a shield when you drop below 30%. Angelic Bulwark's a little easier because you don't have to think about it and it's a passive, but I like to be in control of my health, so Desperate Prayer is what I like to run in case I'm taking too much damage. I can just pop that and worry about healing other people. Alright, second tier. There's only two that really make sense here, and for me, Body and Soul makes the most sense. What this does is your Power Word Shield and Leap of Faith will also increase your target's movement speed by 60% for 4 seconds. Angelic Feather will increase their movement speed by 60% for 6 seconds, and you can have 3 charges of it. But for me, Body and Soul makes the most sense because you're going to be using your Power Word Shield on people anyway, so just speeding them up with that is pretty convenient. But like I said, take whatever you want here. Tier 3, another one where it really depends on what you prefer. Mindbender is probably the best for giving mana back if you're having mana struggles. Surge of Light is going to give you random procs for instant cast, free Flash of Lights, or Flash Heals, sorry. That's going to be completely random, and it does not help your mana regen at all. That's going to be something you take if you are confident that you won't run out of mana and you like having random flash heals. I prefer Power Word Solace here because, well, basically as a Discipline Priest we have Evangelism, which is going to turn into Archangel, which is going to increase our healing, and how you apply that is by attacking the boss or whatever target your raid is attacking. So with Power Word Solace, it replaces your Holy Fire, and not only when you cast it will it do damage to the target, it'll also heal a nearby ally and return mana to you. And it'll also give you a stack of Evangelism. So if you take this talent, you're going to want to use that spell basically on cooldown to stack your Evangelism. It's really convenient, and it returns mana to you, so it might actually even be better than Mindbender. So I would recommend this 100%. The next tier absolutely does not matter what you take. I'm not even going to talk about it. It's just CC abilities, whatever you want to run, that's fine. Next tier you have two options here, Power Infusion or Spirit Shell. Spirit Shell is extremely situational for fights that you can prepare for bursts, like Tectis. Right before Tectonic Upheaval you can pop this, and what it does is instead of healing for 10 seconds, your heal, flash heal, and prayer of healing will instead create absorption shields on all of your targets. So for like a fight like Tectis, right before Tectonic Upheaval, you would pop this and you would just prayer of healing everyone as fast as you can for 10 seconds, and that'll help with mitigating the AoE damage he does. But there aren't too many fights like that, so 90% of the time Power Infusion is a great cooldown that'll increase your haste and reduce the mana cost of all spells for 20 seconds. So that's very nice to have when you need extra healing. This next tier, there are a couple options, of course. The easiest one is Cascade. What it does is you cast it once on someone and it'll bounce from them to another target, to another target, to another target, and basically heal your entire raid once. It's extremely easy and you don't even have to think about it once you cast it. With Halo, healing will radiate out from you in a circle. However, the most healing this spell will do is at the greatest effect this will have is at max range, so you kind of have to think about your positioning when you use it, and I don't exactly want to worry about my positioning to heal someone with a 40-second cooldown, so I just like to pop Cascade whenever I can when we need AoE healing. Alright, your last tier is basically you're going to go with Clarity of Will. Because as a Discipline Priest, you're probably in there to be a tank healer, and Clarity of Will is basically an improved version of Power Word Shield, and you can have both of them up on your tank at once. The only thing is Clarity of Will does have a cast time, but it's not affected by, or it doesn't affect your targets by with Weakened Soul, so you can put both of them on your target at the same time. You would just have to cast it, which is kind of a drawback, but it's still a powerful shield for a tank. For whatever reason, if you're in there as a group healer, first thing you should do is just hit the respec button and go holy. But if you don't have a holy off spec, take Words of Mending and run around and cast Healing Nova. That's all you're gonna do if you need to AoE heal as a priest or as a Discipline Priest. Of course, you also have Prayer of Healing, but for Words of Mending to work, you want to have basically as many instant cast heals as you can, because for every healing spell you get a stack of Word of Mending, and I don't think it works when I use it on a dummy. No, I don't think so. Okay, so well, what it does is it'll give you a stack of Word of Mending. When you gain 10 stacks, your next heal casted at someone will put a Prayer of Mending on them. So with that, it'll just have more AoE heals going out, because a Prayer of Mending, when the target takes damage, they'll be healed, and then it'll pop to another target, and when they take damage, it'll pop, etc, etc. So that'll be good if you absolutely need to do more AoE healing, but like I said, if you're a Disc Priest, you're probably just going to want to stick with Clarity of Will and focus on healing tanks. Alright, so Glyphs. There are actually only 3 that I would ever run. Some people may disagree with that, but this is what I prefer. First thing here is Glyph of Penance. It's going to increase the mana cost of Penance by 20%, however, it'll allow you to cast it while moving, which is going to be extremely useful in fights where you have to move around a lot. You can just run around, keep Penance going, and not lose any HPS with that. Your next glyph here is Glyph of Weakened Soul. This will reduce the effect caused by your Power Word Shield by 2 seconds, so you can get another shield up when it ends, and it'll end quicker, so that's 100% useful, especially when you're assigned to healing tanks and they are running out of shields quickly because of heavy hitting mechanics. The last glyph here is Glyph of Holy Fire, which will increase the range of Holy Fire, Smite, and Power Solace by 10 yards, and as a Disc Priest, you are going to be doing Atonement Healing, which is attacking to heal, basically, and getting stacks of Evangelism, so it's easier to do that when you have more range on those spells, so that's why I would take that. Alright, so with that said, let's go into stat priority. So, your stat priority, the first thing you're going to want to max is your Mastery. Mastery, what it does is increases the potency of all your shields by 23, or by whatever percent of mastery you have, and increases all of your healing by half of that. So what I have 23%, basically it just increases how much your shields do, and since your shields are an integral part of your rotation, you want to have as much mastery as you can get. After that, of course, if you're running extremely low on mana all the time, get some Spirit. You can only get Spirit in, I believe, necklaces, rings, and trinkets. So if you see a piece of Spirit, you might want to consider picking that up. After that, you're going to want Crit. Crit is good because we have 2 passives here. We have Enlightenment, which increases the crit chance of Prayer of Healing by 10% and causes you to gain 5% of critical strike stat from all sources. So that's going to increase your crit a lot, and with that, it works well with Divine Aegis, which your critical heals and their multi-strikes will create a protective shield on the target, absorbing 100% of the amount healed instead of healing for twice as much. So more shields going out, which then in turn works with your mastery, and you'll see it's just a big circle of healing. except you're not a holy priest, so you don't have that spell. Haha! After that, you're going to want haste, because haste will increase the cast time of your spells, and then after that, it's just whatever else you can find. Probably you want multi-strike and versatility before anything else, but once again, intellect, spirit if you need it, mastery, crit, haste, multi-strike, versatility, anything else. And then for gems, in this expansion of course, there's no real matching slots, it's all prismatic, and enchants are only on a few different slots. I have multi-strike because I'm mainly a holy priest, so don't pay attention to that. What you want is mastery. You want mastery gems and mastery enchants. It's as simple as that. Okay, so I think we're on to macros. So what I do for all of my healing is I use Mouseover spells, so I don't have to actually target my target or whatever, so that's how I do it. I'm sure if you have some kind of healing add-on, you can set it up to do that for you and not have to worry about that, but I will put an example of all my heals, or just an example of one of my heals, in the description, so you can copy that if you would like to use that. Also, you should definitely have a Mouseover for Leap of Faith. If you see a raid member in trouble, you can, without even having to target him, use a Mouseover and bring him to your location if he's standing in fire, because you know everyone does that. Everyone does it once in a while. They just never want to admit to it. Other macros. There's one that someone brought up to me, was your focus atonement macros. So what this does is you set your focus target to whatever your group is attacking, and you have a focus for your powered Solace, Smite, and Penance. I don't prefer to use these because since I already have Mouseover macros, I'm usually just targeting the boss anyway. But if you don't do that, then try out one of these focus macros. So see, I don't even have a target other than my focus, and I click powered Solace and it hits him anyway. So that's easy to make sure that you're keeping that on cooldown. So I will also put an example of that in the description. Other than that, there aren't really any other macros. Just make sure, if you don't have a healing add-on, of course use Mouseovers, and focus targets for your group for Atonement healing if you prefer to do that. Alright, so I think I've talked about everything other than how to heal. So of course it's going to be hard to explain everything just attacking a dummy or healing a dummy, so I am going to make a second gameplay guide, which should be out either later today or tomorrow. But basically what you do as a Disc Priest is you're going to be a tank focused healer. You have shields, 2 of them if you take Clarity of Will, and you're going to want to keep those on your tank pretty much 100% of the time. As soon as they fall off, of course with weakened souls you can't put powered shield back up right away, but as soon as that comes off cooldown, put that back up. Keep Clarity of Will going. Of course with this freaking dummy that takes like 500 million damage per second, it's hard to show because like I put Clarity of Will and it's gone. And it's gone. Yeah, so it's hard to explain this, but you can have your shields up on them, Penance as a filler. If they're taking a lot of damage and you need to save them from death, flash shields are good. Cooldowns you can use. Pain suppression will reduce the damage they take by 40%. That's also another thing you should have Mouseovered. You'll have power barrier for AoE group damage, which will just reduce damage everyone takes in the barrier. That's basically all you do for tank healing. Course, so you have your shields, your penance, flash heal if they're about to die, and heal if you absolutely need it and penance isn't back up yet. When there's no damage going out, make sure of course you're using powered Solace on cooldown and then smite spam. If the tank is at like 80% to 100% and not taking severe damage, just be spamming smite on the target. With Atonement, they'll be getting healed, or not necessarily them, but random group members now, but it will be healing going out. Keep your smite up, Make sure you have Powered Solace on cooldown, and that is really all it is. Disc Priests are all about shields and single target healing. So when other group members are taking damage, you're just going to do the same thing to them. So let's say a DPS is standing in fire, put a shield on them, put a Penance on them, blast shield if they're about to die, and that's about it for, you know, 5-man single target healing. In raids, you're probably going to use Prayer of Mending quite a bit more, as well as Prayer of Healing and Cascade right before a strong boss mechanic. I would use that like 2 to 3 seconds before it goes, so after the first, you know, pop, it'll go boom, boom, and then it'll have like 8 pops going out to heal the rest of your group, just to get them up really quickly. Holy Nova, run around and heal. It's a simple spell, and it actually does pretty good healing. Let's see. What did I miss? I don't think I missed anything. But yeah, Disc Priests are going to be your main tank healers. So we don't have a lot of tools for AoE, but we do have powerful, powerful shields for our tanks. With that said, I'm going to cut the video here and hop into a heroic so you can see more of how this is played. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have questions, please feel free to ask, and I will see you next time.